Hello, good evening. It's Monday, which means it's time for the Dear Christopher Live. I was broadcasting a second ago, but it cut out completely, so I'm starting it again. So, the Dear Christopher Live is where I look at questions and queries that some of my clients have been putting to me during the week, and also questions and queries and conversations that have been taking place around dementia and other conditions across Facebook in different Facebook groups during the last week. So one thing that's come up quite a lot over the last week is personality change and dementia. Now we know that memory loss is associated with dementia. I think we all know that memory loss is very heavily associated with dementia. But as I said in previous videos, there are a lot of other different symptoms which affect the person living with dementia. It's not all about memory loss. Depending on the part of the brain which is affected by the dementia, that will determine the different symptoms that the person living with dementia will have. And personality change is one of those. It's also perhaps one of the most difficult to deal with. So a person that could have been quite quiet and considered for most of their life can suddenly lose their inhibitions and become quite loud and possibly even rude, which is very, very difficult to understand, quite shocking and very difficult to deal with. So yeah, change in personality. Interestingly, it's quite often one of the first and initial signs, actually. So quite often it will happen before a person has had a diagnosis of dementia, which is interesting. It's quite often one of the very early signs, subtle changes in personality. There is a type of dementia which is called frontotemporal dementia. A type of dementia which affects the front and the sides of the brains, and one of the main symptoms of that dementia, frontotemporal dementia, is a change in personality and behaviour, and also the loss of language. So one thing to know that quite often a change in personality or behaviour is a communication. So the person living with dementia may be feeling frustrated or irritated, and they may be trying to communicate something to you, a need. They could be too hot, too cold, they could be in pain, they could be suffering from medication difficulties, delusions, they could be lonely or isolated. There's lots that they could be trying to hide the condition themselves. There's lots of different things that they could be trying to communicate, which could be causing the behaviours. So the types of change in personality that can happen with dementia are things like agitation, repetitive behaviours, shouting, as I said, sleep deprivation, hiding things, hoarding, checking, losing inhibition. So these are the types of change in personality that a person living with dementia may be having to live with. So know that it could be communication, and try and figure out if you can see what they could be communicating, what unmet need there may be. But you have to be very, very careful in the way that you deal with it and the way that you respond to the behaviour, because although it quite often is a communication of a need, if you directly respond and meet that need, you could at the same time also be increasing the behaviour or making it happen again long term, which is interesting. So you have to be very, very careful in the way that you deal with the behaviour. Almost maybe wait until the behaviour subsides and then meet the need. You have to have a very clear plan and be very careful about how you deal with it. So the main thing I wanted to get across in this live really was just to know that it's a thing, that a change in personality with dementia is a thing. We know that memory loss is a thing with dementia. Well, personality change is another. It doesn't happen with everyone. Dementia is a very, very inconsistent set of diseases and symptoms. So memory loss won't happen for everyone, and nor will personality change. But A lot of people have been quite shocked this week, and it is a very, very shocking thing to, personality change. But just know that it is a symptom of dementia, and it could happen. Yeah, that's the main message, really. So that was Monday's Dear Christopher. Knowing about personality change and that it is a possible symptom of dementia. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, with my top tips. Tuesday's top tips, so tune in for that tomorrow. Right, have a good evening, everyone.